Hello, everyone. I'm here with my dear friend Carmen Studer. How are you, Carmen?
I'm
How's
good.
you
It's so
been?
nice to hear you say that. I was so drawn to you immediately the first time I ever saw the post that you had put up because of Eliza Blue. And
Yeah,
I just thought, what a cool guy. What you were saying was so vulnerable and so raw, but it was so important at the time. And people needed something real to hold on to because there's a lot of people very confused. Like, this has been the
yeah.
face of somebody that's saying that they're doing things for good, and then there's all these people now saying that she's not, but she's still posing like she is. And then to have somebody as real as you that spoke from the heart and it was so obvious, I think was really needed. At
I
least I
think,
found I needed it.
well, I appreciate that, Carmen. And Chrissy Mayer says this a lot. She said, well, she serves a great purpose of bringing a lot of people together. She really did. And because it was like 2 years ago. No, it was nearly 2 years ago, I
It was
think. No,
2023 because the first time I was ever on Chrissy's show, I happened to just look it up the other day. It was right after Valentine's Day 2023. So it was even
yeah.
before that that all of it broke out and happened. So it might have been end of 2022.
Because
Uh,
I have had you on my show like ages ago, and that was nearly in October, it'll be 2 years. I
there
thought it
you
was
have it.
1 year, but it's 2 years. Like you said, it's 2023.
Yep.
Um, but because since then, it seems like, I mean, that particular story with Eliza is sort of gone by the wayside, but like there has been that seemed to be like the first time, at least for me, that I would really sort of been kind of, I don't want to say burnt by, but like came into close contact with like the grift. There's like a lot of it seems like there's a lot of that, basically, is what I'm getting at. There was, it wasn't just her. It was like, well, if you look at Twitter today, which I still refuse to call X, it's just full of those kind of characters. And
Yep.
it's sort of, and that, I guess, none of it is really surprising to me anymore. Like it sort of was then.
Mhm.
I was kind of, I guess, a little bit naive, I
Same.
think.
I feel like it was, I know everybody has different worldviews. Mine happens to be Christian, though I'm not attached to any church or religion because I reject that 100%. I don't like what's going on in those areas, but I do love the Bible, and I do love goodness and nobility, true nobility, not elite, but
Yeah.
actual, like, honesty and stuff. And it is kind of mind-blowing where we've come to because, when they're talking about half of the freaking accounts being bots or bought or
Well, it's more than, it's just frightening. It's just like 80%. It's staggering.
is it that high?
It's, some people even say higher. That could be even a conservative estimate. It's
Wow.
really scary how much, like, in terms of overall internet traffic,
Right.
something like 90% of that is artificial. Um,
It doesn't surprise me though. And the first time I saw it, even before Eliza, was when Texas was kind of going through some stuff because of COVID. And I wrote something to the governor on X, and I had all these, like, hundreds of people, but within 5 minutes, like, responding
yeah.
to. And I remember going, dang, these people are like on it. And then I find out later, oh, that's like a thing. Well, then because of my channel, I've gotten sucked into having people on that are there for an agenda. It took me a little while, but my point of this whole conversation was I believe it's God's way of teaching us discernment. And I think it's really important that we know before we kind of go into this whole, artificial intelligence situation that we are
Well,
embarking upon that
it's
is
a, yeah, because
crazy.
I'm really actually, it's funny you bring all that up because it ties a lot into what I wanted to talk to you about. You had a recent episode with Rob Ager, who
I
is a
love
huge, like,
him.
massive hero of mine. Like, so one of the original, if not the original, YouTube film critic.
Yeah, it was
Um,
him and one other guy, according to him. He's amazing. I really hype
Incredible.
everyone should be watching his channel.
So, and in fact, it's all linked below because I did plan on bringing it. And first of all, I want to talk to you and catch up with you, but I do want to talk about him and your episode with him because I was watching it again just before we came on, and the episode is about are you programmed in hypnosis and just sort of like a because that hypnosis a lot of people think of just sort of like stagecraft with the watch and stuff, where in fact it's embedded everywhere.
Yes.
And there was just coincidentally last night or the other day there was this episode, Chris Williamson, you know, that English guy.
I don't know that one.
You will have seen him before. He's very
Okay.
popular.
Okay.
But he had a guy on called Dr. David Spiegel, I think, hypnotherapist guy, and it was kind of like a lot of people talk about hypnotizability. A lot of people are more hypnotizable than others, but pretty much everyone is hypnotizable, and you'll find this even in a great film. What
Mhm.
and this is what Dr. Spiegel was bringing up. Like, if you ever find yourself as being just like not an audience member, not a participant in the film, but just in it, just like lost. Just you find yourself just part of the observance. You're not actually a character. You're not either. It's kind of like this superposition.
Yeah.
I'm paraphrasing, but you know
I
that
mean,
is
I
a
think that really probably would be the definition of a trance, you know?
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I was kind of just in one just now listening to you and Rob talking about being in trances because Rob's got like this Liverpudlian accent as well. And so, like, he's got that way. It's just he's supremely talented orator, I think. And the thing is, he's put in all the extraordinary. I'm already detouring right into Rob. Sorry about this comment, but like it's so
No,
fascinating.
I don't mind, and to be honest, like, you and I just always get together and chat, and so
Yeah, I didn't actually have really an agenda about
and I
this.
didn't even ask you, like, "What are we talking about?"
Yeah, anything. But even he says, like, I was rewatching your episode just now. It's like, well, everyone has an agenda, and he's absolutely right about that. We're not necessarily always conscious of living out our agendas, but we're just like, I think, and naturally attuned to doing that. But when I see that, when I got, if you ever, I think I got stuck into Rob stuff originally because I was I was going through this thing of rewatching really old because I hate new films. I'm not really a big film buff. Um, and I remember watching, based on your recommendation, Wag the Dog. That
Oh,
was
isn't it
just
good?
an excellent, just such a great film with all of the messaging and everything for all of the reasons, the way it's shot, the acting, it's very funny. It's very prescient of like today, sort of like what's happening. Like, it just feels very revelatory of like how things really kind of work. Um, so yeah, really excellent film. But where was I going? I'm darting off in all these. Yeah, so Rob and I
The
had this.
trance.
Yeah, so I was going in this thing of watching old films and old great films, like some of those, like the Stanley Kubrick films. And if you want to go into like analysis, because they're very sort of, the Kubrick films are kind of pretty esoteric in terms of there's a lot of symbology and stuff going on in there. A lot of people don't fully understand them. I didn't when I first understood. Like 2001 Space Odyssey is a big one, a famous one, which is very, very heavy. Like, there's almost no words in that film. Um,
I've never seen it.
oh, it's well, you should. I don't know. We should definitely watch the film and then watch Rob's thing on it. But like,
Okay.
he's someone, like, if anyone's ever done any film critic that I've ever seen try and break down any Kubrick film, not just that one, they're always having to refer to Rob, and if they haven't, they've stolen from him.
Right.
So like, because you can
You
tell,
can
like, it's just
tell,
word for
yes.
word. And
Yes.
because he's kind of like the only guy that I've seen that really puts in all of the work himself, and I mean, like, he counts the diamonds that are in the set. He'll count
Yep, and
the
how many
colors.
lamps there are and which
Yeah,
direction the lights are coming from and all that.
yeah, and things like with like The Shining, um, there was a thing in that with the bear. This is a heavy sort of theme, but like that scene with the bear, how she discovers the bear and the guy on the bed in that sort of intimate scene, that
Yeah.
and what that actually, the implications for what that means for the story of the film, which sounds at first, I don't want, excuse me, I'm still, I've had a chest infection. I'm almost over it, but like,
Yeah, those things take forever to heal from.
yeah.
It's crazy. But I won't tell you how to fix it on YouTube. I
Well,
got my
I've
one
had.
and only strike because somebody told me what they did to get over a head cold.
Oh, really? That's funny about that. I mean, I've got antibiotics for it because it's cheap and easy
Oh,
for
well, that's
us to
okay
do
because
that.
that's appropriate.
Yeah, but see, because it's like, I mean, talking to American friends, have a friend called Julie. In fact, I've got comments here in the chat. We're live, and sorry guys in the chat. I've got B Manny, my brother. He's such a nice guy. He's such a sweet dude.
Oh,
We
I'm so
usually,
glad he liked Wag the Dog too. You know, I probably wouldn't have liked it as much until after 2020.
really,
Yeah, when you just really start seeing that it's everywhere and that it's psyop world and you start
yeah.
questioning like every bit of news that comes out, especially anything that has to do with, people and agendas that are, they're trying to, create I think that's definitely that Hegelian, what's that called? The
Hel-
dialect?
yeah, the Hegelian dialectic.
Hegelian, thank you.
Yeah.
That's what it reminds me of. Every time I look at the news, I almost have to go to get conditioned the other way because I don't believe anything I see anymore.
Well, that's the other thing that kind of I wanted to almost like, because the thing is, so I was like already a massive fan of Rob, and then he tweeted out the other day, your name, and then I just was like, what? I had to really double check, and then it was actually on your channel, which
Yes.
is again linked below. Please watch the episode because I'm probably going to be guilty of repeating a lot of stuff from it, but like it's just really, really interesting because it really makes you wonder, like, is hypnosis even that bad a thing? Like, because it is, it's everywhere. Our friends have and I think this is a comment on from one of Rob's other interviews he had, that like our friends have a hypnotic power over us,
Yeah.
and that's in fact how he got into film critique himself, because he growing up in Liverpool and in that environment where you kind of unless you sort of into sort of criminal activity as a youth, you kind of ostracized, and so there's a heavy kind of the people hypnotize each other,
The
like I
culture,
guess is
yeah.
the culture.
What do they call it? They call it something like social conditioning? No, social
Third Railer Fires in the
some sort
channel.
of
This is my Canadian brother that I
uh
often stream with. He puts the lights like, yeah, well, because I've been lazy. I've been sick and lazy, so I haven't been putting on my lights. But yeah, I was gonna actually in fact, Carmen, I was gonna wear like a cowboy hat and everything and like a tie
Oh,
clip, but it was like it's too early.
yeah.
It's
Yeah,
too
what
early in
time
the
is
day.
it there? I don't even know.
Actually, not that early. Like it's 10 a.m., but like
Oh, okay, okay.
I'm
That's not
sick.
too bad.
Yeah.
I was thinking you're
Um,
gonna say 7 AM, and I was like, "Oh, no, I feel so bad."
no, but I've been up since about 4. Like I get up really early these days. Hey, and Gina, my darling Gina, in the chat. We've got all my friends in the chat here. They'll be
I
they'll
love
be
it.
doing their
It's weird
shows
that they're
later on.
not Oh, sure, I've been looking at private chat. No wonder I couldn't see them. I was like, "Where
Yeah.
are they? I'm not seeing them," but I accidentally
Well,
hit on the wrong one.
most because I'm like you're like kind of the how do I say this? Usually you know what I'm like, Carmen. Where like you're not like we use filthy language on this channel and all sorts of stuff. So I'm
Yes.
on my best behavior right
Aw.
today. But
Well, I appreciate that, and it doesn't bother me, and I don't judge people for things either.
I know.
I remember my daughter was into acting and one of her agents was gay and she's telling somebody, don't tell Carly's mom, don't tell Carly's mom. And she's like, why? And she goes, because she's so straight-laced. And she's like, oh my God, no, Carmen would not care at all.
No. No,
She,
that's what I love about you. That's why
but it's
you're not
true. I
judgmental.
really, I really respect everyone's journey to wherever they're going. And how many times have we been lapped by the person that was like way behind us, right?
Yeah.
In
Like
whatever way.
I like a lot of I mean, a lot of this stuff that I lean in. I guess that we're tying back into like how we met and through the Liza and all of this thing, and then that led
Right.
into drifts and then hypnosis and all of this stuff. It's kind of all tied together. Like lately, because everything's so fake, I'm really struggling with how to discern
That's
what
what I
is
think this is all about.
so. But like, it's also like because there's so many obvious psyops, right? And
Mhm.
there's this like it's made. I don't know. Like, how do
I
I
think
don't know.
that's the trick. So, this is my own opinion, but after after learning so much about narcissism, spending years trying to figure it out, I finally realized that, oh, I'm a codependent. Maybe I should study that and not narcissism. And so the whole world's in this stage of being knocked off center by this system called narcissism, right? I'll just call it that. It's the pyramid system. It's somewhere from the top is coming down, but ultimately what it is we're still codependent on the system. So we're still trying to figure out the system. So we're still trying to figure out how to get out of the system. We're still trying to figure out how to please the system, make everything. And so what you realize is, oh, it's when I turn away from the system and back into myself and start feeding me and what's best for me, not in a selfish way, so that then I can pour out onto others. But see, if they keep everyone distracted with trying to figure out what's going on, because sometimes it doesn't even make sense, like you just said. Like it seems like an obvious psyop. Why would they do that? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also like in my rebellious, it's sort of it feels sometimes like I've been successfully hacked, which I hate about this. Is like because like I have this rebellious streak where I want to like lean in the other way and say like horribly obscene things for the shock value of it, but then I find after a while that I start to feel sometimes a little bit kind of actually hateful about things, and then I don't like that. I don't like that
No.
feeling at all.
Yeah.
And then I start getting a little bit confused. Well, like, well, how do I feel about this? And like, what do I like? I don't know.
I think
I
you're
get
ahead
so
of a lot of
confused.
people if you start asking, though, because I think a lot of people aren't even aware that they're a hackable animal, as Noah would say, or
Yeah.
Yuval Noah Harari.
Well, I mean, even in this thing with and I only watched like a tenth of the episode with Chris Williamson, so I still need to watch that one with Dr. Spiegel on hypnosis. But like when they talk about hypnotizability, I always could sort of consider myself as someone that is less hypnotizable than others. But of course, that's just a concept that I've got. I could be totally wrong about that. It takes me more in terms of like my experimentation with mind altering drugs is taken more than usual than on average, I guess,
Oh,
to sort of
interesting.
get me in an altered state. So like let's say I have a high tolerance for substances. And so I don't know if that's linked at all, but like I feel like it's sort of commensurate in a way. But at the same time, I was totally just in a trance before watching you and Rob talking about being in trances and how people get into them. And it's not just about the watches, it's about being part of the observance of a film or, the feeling like that you do actually need to go on and rob the corner store to fit in with your friends. And like, otherwise you'll be what was it like anything but being gay or whatever it is the thing is nowadays. I don't know if that's even still a thing.
Yeah, I
It
don't know.
probably is. It
I I'm
probably is.
I'm 60 now, so
I
I'm
remember
so far
when
away
I
from
was a
what
kid,
young kids are up to, I have no idea.
the
But I
worst
think
thing that you could ever be was gay as a kid. That was always the thing. Well, at
oh,
least I think that's pretty much a constant though, isn't it? That's still a thing.
I
Surely
think
that's
it's
still a thing.
I have a lot of gay friends, and I don't have shallow conversations usually with people. If I'm hanging out with you, we're probably chatting about something real, unless it's a large group. And you know, here's what at the end of my so far 60 years, I've come to realize, and that is that pretty much the golden rule and the rules that people have told us from time and ever is because over a period of time, things kind of do happen like that. And so I remember telling one of my gay guy friends, I'm like, the reason, because he was really sad about something that was happening, and I said, hey, the reason that there's rules around how to operate a human body is because certain things they know will harm us. For instance, it says in the Bible that God abhors divorce. Well, there's millions of people that are divorced, but if you talk to anyone that's divorced, you'll see that there's a lot of side not benefits. There's a lot of really suck things that happen when you're divorced. And so I think it's the same with anything that over time people have realized, well, there's a bad side to that. And so we all make our own decisions on which sins we're going to choose to be involved with. And if sometimes we get, consequences immediately, and other times it takes a little while.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It's just, especially with like, I know a lot of these things that I'm gonna say sound cliche, but because they're becoming so everywhere now, like AI, right? I hate even talking about it anymore. It's like even when people say I, because it's just so fucking everywhere. Like it's just you can't escape it anymore. And even as someone that like willingly uses it on occasion
Right.
for narrow specific tasks, like it's just I really I really hate it. I really really hate it. And I had a friend that was talking to me the other day, and and he was dating this girl who, and he's just like one of the sweetest people in the world. But he had this girl and who left him for AI.
What?
And like he was kind of like in
Did
shock
AI tell
about
it
it.
to do that? I mean, AI is not into polyamory.
So, but then like it sounds ridiculous, right? But then, and so this is what's going through his mind. He's like, yeah, you hear about these stories about how that happens to people, and then I became one of them. It's like, but then since he mentioned it to me, I've been seeing all these videos of like all of these. There's many videos like on YouTube and Rumble or whatever you want to choose to watch on about this growing phenomena of communities where, yeah, particularly women are leaving their partners for AI. It's men as well. They're leaving their partners for AI for this obviously there's not a sexual component
That
there.
sounds
Well,
like
there must be, but like,
that sounds like there's some sort of programming in it, doesn't it? Because that doesn't seem natural. It doesn't seem
oh,
like a normal response. That seems very odd to me. But
and these are not because you would assume that there's something like slow about these people for one, like I want of a better term, but they're not. But they're kind of like almost hyper intelligent types
right?
that are falling into it. You know what I mean? Like there's something. I mean, there's something not right.
That's very interesting to me because I'm sitting here like my wheels are turning because I'm trying to figure out like if I had to guess what the reason was that was happening is there's a lot of codependence out there. And really don't get me wrong either. A narcissist is the highest level codependent there is. They have to have all their little arms. So they're the octopus that controls everything. But codependents are they cannot be alone, and so there's this false sense of being with something or someone from that is all I can guess, but I don't know. What are like do you know has he talked to her and said, "What are you talking to?" Like have you
No,
gotten feedback?
I don't. Well, the thing is, it's from what I understand is that, and it's not this. He's not unique in this situation. Like there's thousands of people in his position now, like where they've just like essentially been stonewalled by at the direction of the AI. So they've basically kind of like what a cult would do.
Right.
But it's this is not just in a bubble either. Like OpenAI specifically, because this is happening with chat. It's not just some obscure model that you've not heard of. It's happening with Chat GPT 4.0, which I think the O stands for Omni, and which was a legacy model. Now they've got GPT-5.
5, yeah, and
But
everybody's mad
5,
at it and doesn't like it as much, and
because it decidedly stripped out the components that was doing this.
yeah,
And
and
this
their
is why,
memory. It erased the memory of their relationship.
yes, and this is why
I
people
did
are
hear that.
kicking off. And so that and so this is what's going on. And I'm like, what? Why? It's funny, but it's not. Like
It's
it's
almost interesting if you're saying it's more females that are into it, it's almost like
well,
the
I don't know if that's
equivalent.
even true. I just
Oh,
like
okay. Okay,
I actually have to check that.
okay,
I might have just made that part up, because
okay.
from what I've seen, now that I think about it, like,
It's a variety.
yeah, I
Okay,
think it is. I
okay.
think it is.
But that is crazy, and it's so wild because, I just heard about today on James True. I love his podcast. He's such a philosopher, and he thinks so far out of the box. It's almost like you have to really pay attention. But he's funny and he's quirky, and I really like him. But he also he used to code. He knows how to do all of that. He was in the Navy and just hyper intelligent. The guy is so smart. But he was saying that today that GPT and Sam Altman are being sued because this young man was going to Chat GPT and with his, like, it was like a diary or something, and he kept talking to the chat and to the AI, and it recognized that he was, I don't even really want to say the word on YouTube, but like, offing himself.
I
And
mean, I don't even know if YouTube still allows me to have a channel at this point. But most of I mean, we say anything.
you do? Okay. Well,
Like, don't
I don't
watch
want to
my
get
other
I don't
videos,
want to get your
please.
deal in trouble. But so he was warned by Chat GPT, hey, don't do that. Call the off yourself hotline and blah blah blah. And 28 times, 28 times it told him to do that. But after that, it started encouraging him, giving him ideas on how to do it, giving him, like,
Really?
telling him that you're making a beautiful decision, and he did do it. And I think it was a family out of California, and the parents found out about it later. Um,
So
it
it
was
just
just
had to keep asking. It just had to be persistent. They just like
Yeah, it's
that's
kind of interesting, right? 28 times one way, and then it's like, "Okay, let's just go for this."
yeah, that's not
Wild. And think
it's
about this too, Daniel. It doesn't really have feelings. It
well, it
doesn't
doesn't.
really, because if it did, it would never stop saying the 20, it would keep saying it 2,800,000 times. But it doesn't, because it's tired of this guy. It just
Well,
wants the
this is
shortest answer.
essentially, I mean, I'm not an expert on AI, but from what I do I've fooled around with them on like with their APIs and stuff, and built my own little custom ones and things like that just for fun. But like, so I have a basic understanding on what a GPT is, a generative pre-trained transformer. So it's essentially just a glorified autocorrect. It just what is the next word that should go most appropriately with the preceding one, and
Right.
it's a little bit more. It has some
Right.
like there's a few different
It's
weights
a
and
great
things to it,
analogy, though.
but that's essentially what it is. And so, like, all of the things that it's coming up, nothing's novel, nothing's new. It's all pre-trained by its definitional name. Um, Now, they talk about this difference between that and AGI, which is artificial general intelligence, which is where it takes on its own sentience. It can teach itself like humans do, and
But they haven't gotten there.
no, and this
Yeah.
is the thing. They keep saying, well, the whole thing with OpenAI and Sam Altman was like, that's what GPT-5 was supposed to be.
No.
Well, that's like fucking $10 a month now,
But
and
you
it's
know
garbage.
what?
Everyone hates it. It's not
But
very good.
well, I was
It's not sentient. It's still a pre-trained transformer. I don't understand how they're
and it
breaking out
can't
of
be
that.
sentient. It just can't. It literally can't. Think about,
Right.
like, there's this guy, and I highly recommend following him if you're, like Daniel and you're very anti-AI, but his name is Mrs. Economics, and Mrs. was it's the last name of a famous, economist, and he has torn apart everything Musk, everything AI, like, he's a brilliant
Oh,
guy. But he makes so many great points about how it can't it is 100% about the money. And think about, they were even giving tens of thousands of young people incredible jobs doing nothing to make it appear like it was a huge industry and that you should put your money here. And
wow.
and then you see later that all of that was stripped, and the reason it's stripped is because it was about selling in for the investments. So I think it's
Yeah.
gonna be very similar to .com. It's gonna
Yeah, it is. It's a
it's
lot of
gonna
false
bust because
promise.
it
It's a lot of false promise, and, like, it's when you mentioned Elon Musk before, that's his MO. That's what he does. He's been doing that since the
oh
beginning
my
of all
gosh.
of his creations. I could go on many tangents about him. Um, in fact, as someone who does a lot of interesting reporting on it, and she gets shit on for this a lot. She's Whitney Webb.
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
know Whitney Webb?
Yeah,
So
I'm not a
she
fan, but I know who she is.
Yeah, I'm not really like, I don't know much about her other than, like, the stuff that she's done on Elon Musk. So what is
Right.
'cause she's a divisive character. You're not a fan. What
I'm
is
not a
the
fan. I was a fan before I started understanding a lot of the background of the Epstein stuff. And what what I will say is I'm especially not a fan of her baby daddy. Um,
oh,
and he also is a journalist, and yeah,
I didn't
not
know I don't know any of this.
not a good guy in my opinion. Not a good guy.
Oh.
And so,
So it's everywhere,
to me, it's
literally unbelievable. Like, so even but that just throws my
and
brain off a bit.
think about it, she works for Glenn Beck, like, that's not a good man.
Yeah,
At
yeah.
least I think she works for Glenn Beck. I could be wrong, but I know that he's a big supporter of hers, and so, yeah, I'm not a fan of Glenn Beck's, and it's so
Uh,
funny how they're all so interrelated, and the whole reason I'm on to
yeah.
Glenn Beck is because of Tim Ballard, who did the whole OUR railroad thing.
Mm.
What is it called? Underground Railroad, where he was, supposedly saving kids out of sex
I think
trafficking.
we were talking about this on when you were on my show last time, because
Yes.
that was when the Sound of Freedom is the film? Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes.
That
And
was just coming
and
out.
that got me into looking at their 990s, and a 990 in the US is an IRS form that if you have a 501(c)(3), which is a charitable organization, you have to show them kind of your books and where things are. Well, as I was breaking them down and looking at them, I was finding, $1 million to Mercury One. Who owns Mercury One? Glenn Beck. And so there was all these different things that just didn't make sense to me. And so I started speaking out about it. And then, sure enough, after the movie came out and after everybody went to see it, even though I wish they didn't, even though I think that it's good
I
people are
haven't seen
aware of
it.
it, I think that the wrong people made money on it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes sense. I
Yeah.
haven't seen it, but, uh, I didn't know any of that sinister arc of it until you had told me about it last time.
Yeah.
But then it just sorta, like, everything that sort of occurred in the world since, just like, of course it's that way. Of course
Yeah.
it's that way. And and this is with the term that goes around a lot, and I've been sort of overusing it, I think, is black pilled.
Yeah. The
Because I
thing
really
is that after you've been black pilled though, like, you're done, right?
you think so, but then it sort of gets, I don't know, like, if you'd
I mean,
think
unless
that, like, you
your definition of black pill could be different than mine. To me, it's it's the disappointment of realizing a lot of the things that you thought were real are dead. They're not.
Absolutely, but like it's sort of, I guess, if to become more black-pilled, if that is a thing, would be to kind of just start to feel really. It's like what I was mentioning before. Sometimes I feel like kind of dark and hateful about shit now, and that I really don't like that.
No, and here's what I would say to that is I think that means that you're a good person, but that you've maybe put your eggs in the wrong basket and that now you need to put them in a new basket and start really building something for yourself outside of the system,
Yeah,
outside.
I mean, they're fleeting thoughts, but it's not something like I
Oh
dwell on
yeah.
or anything. Like I
I
don't
hear you.
fantasize
I
or
hear
anything,
you.
but it's like it's still very uncomfortable to have some like that come through and even for a moment entertain sort of horrible things, or like you catch yourself out saying, well, I was saying something that I thought was funny for a moment there, but actually I actually feel kind of an emotional cost for having said that now. And but it's sort of but it's not until afterwards it's like, oh no, I don't think I should have said that. And then but then you go like, is that because everyone says, "Oh, that's a naughty word," or is that
Right.
because no? It was there malice in there?
Well,
Like
and I
it's
think deep down inside, which is great. And as long as you have that governor, that's what I think people should be working on is not ever allowing the outside to determine what is right. It's been proven over and over again that people are so swayed by what's going on outside. I mean, I remember hearing about a study out in California. I don't remember which university it was where they had a bunch of kids in a room and they were asking simple questions and saying, raise your hand if this is red. And they made everybody in the room was in on it except for the one guy to see if they would go along with
yeah.
it. Yeah. And
I've seen
so
these.
everybody raises their hand and then that person is like, clearly they see that it's not, but they're
It's
like,
very yeah.
it's
They're
like, I
very
don't wanna have to deal with it, and I do believe that's one of the things that's great about being 60 is you just don't care. You really and truly don't care, and
yeah.
you've made so many mistakes, and you've gotten up so many times, and you've learned every single time, and then you go, "I was right, like, I knew that," and you start having this, like, beautiful trust in the most important place there is, which is within you, and when you trust you, then you don't really get affected by what goes on the outside as much, even though, I mean, quite frankly, I do feel, like I feel like sometimes I'm witnessing, 9/10 of the world, like, walking off of a cliff, and
Well,
that's
yeah.
upsetting because I love people. And so I'm like, "Oh, no, not again. People are falling for it again." Because a little bit in a way, I do think the AI is another refining test, but so much of it, like anything else, is the intent behind it and how we use it.
Daniel Rue
There are no
says,
good people. Yeah, I
"Never be
agree.
allowed to make it. At the very least, they'd be under constant attack." Excuse me, I'm a little bit, delicate
No,
still.
that is so true. I 100% agree. And here's the thing is they're not gonna let somebody that is sensible and honest have that boosting position when they're in control of it. They're just not. It is, Owen Benjamin explains it the best ever. He's like, he goes, "It's like a mafia or like a turf war for, gangs for drugs. This is my territory. You can live in this neighborhood, but you can't sell drugs, can't do things I'm doing." And it's kind of what it's like. It's like you're welcome to come on here and be on YouTube with Daniel. We're not going to boost you, but you can do whatever you want.
It's funny, every time I put an episode out, I lose a subscriber, and I don't actually think it's anyone pressing unsub. Yeah, I'm
Right.
pretty sure it's just YouTube going, "Oh, he exists, let's knock another one off," which
I
is
love it.
funny to me. It's
I
pretty
love
funny,
it.
but,
And then you go, "Who cares?" again, because you know, I know the truth. I've been on X, Twitter, I call it, since
Yeah, me too.
2009. I know how it is. I know about the numbers you have to be at of people truly following you to get certain things. I must have like so many bots following me that Elon promised he got rid of, because
Yeah, he
I'm
did.
telling you, I post stuff and I used to be like, Happy Friday, and like 200 people would like it. And then
Well,
Elon comes in with his, that lady that's like, free speech, no reach. And I'm the definition of no reach.
but Yacarino, she just left, I think.
Yes. Well, they
Uh,
haven't changed her policy though.
no, and she was also a replacement of kind of the trust and safety before her, Ella Irwin, which was she was wrapped up with the Eliza Blue stuff when that was all
Yes.
going
I
on.
forgot Elon got into that too, because didn't he
Yes,
hire her to
Elon.
be,
Yes, Elon was
something?
involved in it as well. But he's like, oh gosh, keeps going back to this guy, which I grow more and more like resentful over time about, because he knows what he's doing as
Oh,
well. Like
yes.
he so knows what he's doing,
Yes.
and he's pervert. He is a pervert. You see the stuff that he
Well, I
posts the
mean,
other
any
day.
man that just goes around spreading his seed and not taking care of any of the children, so you can't
He
throw money at kids, that doesn't work. And you can't
knows,
pick one kid to have on your shoulders everywhere you go,
which
and
he
all the
definitely
other
does,
ones are
doesn't
at
he?
home watching him on television, it's just
Yeah, I found that
you've
really
seen his
distasteful
mom
too.
and dad, they're cray cray.
Actually, I was talking to my mother about this. She was saying the same things, like, why this one kid gets the favoritism? No one. It's just very distasteful.
You
Like, I
don't
don't.
want you don't want my philosophy on it.
What do you mean?
Well, I just like whatever I would say, people would think, "Oh my God, she's crazy." But I think that child in particular was chosen for a reason, and that's because he's pure blood. The other ones are like in vitro surrogate. This is like the real child. The only
Oh,
one that actually came out of a woman that actually was from him.
so because it's Is it Grimes? Is the
Yes, Grimes' first one. And she's been
oh
online complaining about him not like talking to her about medical things.
yeah, they all complain about him on
Yeah.
Twitter,
Yeah, it's
which
crazy,
is
right?
wild, and they like kind of jibe back at each other. It's pretty silly. Like the whole thing, I don't know. But the worst thing that happened, really, outside of Elon necessarily, but like it was his, when he bought it and he started monetizing the tweets. That's when sort of,
And it
because
makes no sense.
no, it doesn't.
Like
Like
my
it's
daughter has had consistent numbers. She got a check one time for $500, and then she would do the same thing the next month, nothing. Like it doesn't even make
yeah.
sense.
No, it doesn't make sense, and it shouldn't. It's just inappropriate because most of the content that goes through there is stolen from a different platform, so that someone else created, and he's not getting any credit for. So it's even like when it comes down to the ideas, these thought like Ian Miles Chong, he's one of the worst for it. He'll just literally wholesale pinch someone's text that they thought while they were on the toilet or something, and he'll
Oh,
steal that and pretend it was his toilet thought, like it's and make money off it.
yeah, I saw a guy that was complaining directly to Elon who had created a meme, and Ian whatever Chong had literally taken it, changed the colors and left everything else the same, and then put it up without his watermark or whatever. It's crazy. No one does a thing.
Well, yeah, no, because all the worst characters get rewarded on Twitter
Yeah.
because it's whoever glazes Elon, and he really plays into the cult leader character. Like I could be, I might have must derangement syndrome. It's possible. I think about it a lot because I don't want to be deranged about it. I want to
Yeah.
be like objective and honest as I can about it. But I am terrified at how much um influence he has over everyone, and like this, I'm darting all over the place, and this is kind of what I'm like. But like with the whole Epstein thing and the Trump being such a supreme disappointment with regards to revealing all of that stuff, this ties back into the black pilling and all of that sort of stuff. It's just sort of like, where was I going with that?
You were saying that you thought you had Elon derangement syndrome.
Right. Yeah. People always used to say, "Oh, Donald Trump is this crazy megalomaniac cult leader type," and I sort of thought, well, that seems a bit hyperbolic. Like he's obviously he likes to be liked, but he's not the crazy character that people necessarily claim he is. But I do believe that everything that they ascribe to Donald Trump is true about Elon Musk. Is actually true about Elon Musk.
But Elon is masterful at,
and that's the
he's a gaslighter.
Yeah.
He's
smarter.
really, really good at it. Like, I think the perfect example of that was something I was reading today. I haven't confirmed if this is true or not, but apparently he was able to take the top team from Meta, and Zuckerberg was going to pay them some outlandish, like hundreds of millions of dollars to be his team that works on AI for the future. And apparently Elon got them all. And guess how he got them? Not from paying them more money.
How?
He got them because he understands true humans. And he literally told them, well, I want to work on the AI that's going to be honest. And these are some of the top thinkers in our world, and they bought that. And to me, that is the most unbelievable gaslighting, because all you have to do is look at Grok now, who's a big fat liar.
Which I'm about to show you right now. This is Grok. This is Elon Musk's Grok. I'll show you right now. Okay. Just because when he posted this, it made me, it kind of makes me a bit sick looking at it now, but this is what they call lolly porn, basically. Now, I've quote tweeted this because this is him. Annie is okay. Annie is a new anthropomorphized, like a character version that you can speak to on Grok and interact with it that way rather than typing. And there's a spicy mode, and clearly she's like 12 or something. She's definitely not of, and this is what they call lolly. I think that's the term. Like it's essentially cartoon
Brittany
porn.
Venti hates this. She talks about this a lot.
Well, she's how I actually didn't know what it was until I watched her talk about it. So thanks to her, I know about what it is. Otherwise, I wouldn't have even known.
Yeah.
And then but then he's like tweeting out, to those who support the policies and enable abuse of children to be utterly ashamed. That this is the gaslight. Like he totally. So what? You're like the guy that's like supports children, and but like you've done. I'm pretty sure that whole thing with Eliza Blue, all of those claims that were made, that he's cleaned up the platform, they were independently verified to not be really substantial at all. Nothing happened there. In fact, the problem's probably worse at this point. He posts shit like this, lolly porn.
And he does it a lot. He had the other one too, that with the lady that looked a little older that had the bouncy boobs. I just don't understand why people can't see it. They literally can't see it.
I mean, you will see under like this did get a very negative response, but the tweets.
Yes, it did, but he took that one down.
Oh, did he?
That's what I heard. I heard he took it down because
maybe he did.
He finally got tired of he got tired of all of the negative content. That's one thing too about him. Trump could care less if everyone said something he didn't, that I don't like this, but Elon is very sensitive.
I'm not suggesting that this is, and I'm not going about it, and I've got very staunch opinions on censorship. I even did a pop-up live stream about this the other day, because we've got very sweeping internet censorship laws coming in right now.
In Australia?
Yes, and the UK, and it's also coming to the United States as well through the
Okay.
Screen Act. Yes, so where everyone, it's everyone's fucked. By the end of the 2025, the entire internet will be censored, and it's in the name of protecting children. And in doing so, they are going to put children further at risk, which has already started to occur.
Of
So
course.
the idea is that the Child Online Protection Act, I think they call it in UK or something, and here we call it the eSafety Online Act or some shit, basically is age gating the entire internet. So even things down to like searching for something on Google, you'll have to put in
Oh,
your
yeah.
ID.
I did hear about this.
So like all social media, like ID. So this now means that there's going to be millions of photographs of minors with their home address and details going into the hands of private companies to
Mm.
protect them. It's not a matter of like if they
It
leave, it's
really
a matter
will
of when
be
they leave.
crazy once it 'cause that, like, good and evil is always at war, and so, like, even I was reading about how, our luggage tags, I've always just ripped them off and tossed them wherever. um, those have our personal information from the from the actual American Airlines or whatever on that tag when you scan it. So if somebody has the right software, they can get all of your information just
Yeah,
from the luggage tag. And
it's a
people are
free app on your phone. It's not even
oh, well,
hard.
there you go.
I've got the app that can scan it.
Oh, wow, I didn't even know that. And so then you look at that, but then what's happening is people are going in as you and saying, "Oh, I was on this flight and then I lost this on my luggage and can you, reimburse me?" Or so they're anticipating a lot of fraud because of it. And that's the part that I just think is so funny because the whole reason they were trying to sell us on it originally, that the banks and all the stuff is, "Oh, it'll be so safe. No one will be able to touch your stuff and it'll be awesome." Everything takes longer. Everything. I mean, it is ridiculous what you have to do for banking now. I hate it. It's
Well, in the UK, they're not even hiding what it's about. Like they're calling it. Well, I guess they're trying to. They're saying it's about children, but then they're saying the content that we're monitoring is stuff about like Palestine and COVID and stuff. And it's like, hold a minute. Yeah, that's not porn and how to make bombs.
right.
What are you talking about? That's which is in its own separate category, of
Right.
course. But like, why not just? There are so many other technological solutions that would actually make some sense to attack this issue, than literally screening the entire internet, which is so obvious about what it is for. Like they just want to, and people, the argument that people say, yeah, but like intelligence services already scrape all our data anyway, and corporations scrape your data. Yes, that's true, but it's not aggregated at a government level.
Right.
Governments don't have access to that. That
Right.
belongs in the hands of the. There is a total separation between the intelligence community and the actual like elected government. They have to still go through FISA warrants, and that's still even within the agencies they don't even share very well.
Right.
So to have it aggregated at a government level, where a civil servant can just go in and see what you've been doing on the internet and
Yeah.
restrict your ability to they can like they might not let me in the United States because I've been critical
Right.
of Israel, you
Right.
know.
Right.
um so
Right. That's why I don't want to go to China.
yeah.
Like they know all the bad things I've said about them.
But so like, but then they're laughing at us because we make fun of China for having this hard firewall there. But it's like, that's actually a more reasonable solution to what you want to fucking do here. Like, England, you want to lock your internet down? Build a firewall.
Right.
You don't scrape all of us. Don't pretend it's about the children. Build your
Right.
firewall if you want to be China. But just be honest about it.
Well,
Like, and
that's
I'm
the
not
whole
saying
thing. It's
China's
the whole
honest here.
gaslighting. Oh my gosh, it is crazy. But then people still go to them for permission. And it's like at some point everyone's gonna fall or people will start turning away and finding ways to live outside of the system.
Yeah. I think there is some hope in that. Like, I think this overblown idea on what AI is going to be, the fact that people are expecting it to be sentient, like the world's going to collapse, everyone's going to lose their jobs because it's going to replace everyone. I think, yes, there will be some industries that are encroached upon, but to the degree that it's going to replace everyone, I just don't think it's going to ever be capable. I
We're a
just don't see
long,
it.
long way from that.
And I don't think it could ever be. Maybe it could be one day in 1,000 years, but it's not in our lifetimes. It's just not going to happen. Like the AI is just not even a fraction of as capable as they want to make out as it is. And AGI, I think, is actually just a pipe dream. It seems to be more like
I
a.
just can't imagine it being possible, except if they do somehow combine human and machine.
They
And
are trying to do that.
but even if they pull that off, I have a feeling they'll lead more towards trying to push the machine further into the human, and that will lose it. And I also think that by the time you've got a human that's willing to do that, they've lost a lot of their humanity. It
Well, the
it wasn't
great
important to them, you know?
there was a great film about that Robin Williams film. I think I've mentioned it before, the
Oh, I gotta
Bicentennial
write this
Man.
down. What is it called again?
Bicentennial Man.
Okay.
It was, I think, maybe like early 2000s, if not late 90s film. It was a really good film. I thought a lot of people didn't like it, thought it was one
Yeah.
of his less, but I thought it was a great film. Basically, this family, it's set in the future, probably the 2020s or something like that, and they buy this home android robot just to help them around the home. And it's played by the character of Robin Williams. It's just this delightful man. But like over time, as the family grows older and he just starts to form these more and more human bonds with people, he wants to become more human as opposed to the other way around. And so,
Right.
I mean, I guess it's safe to spoil the film now. It's been probably like 20 years. So, like, in the end, the robot becomes fully human. So it's reverse transhumanist in that sense.
Right.
They don't he chooses to take on a finite life and die as a human because he
Oh,
falls in love with his wife and he wants to die with her and so they kind of they visit what is special about being impermanent and all of that. So I really liked that movie ever since I was a kid. I liked watching it again. I thought it was rewatchable too.
yeah.
And yeah. And
Well,
then
watching interviews with Grimes is kind of bizarre too. Have you ever watched any of her interviews?
briefly, kind of, but like I can't like there's a weirdness I can't tolerate about, and this seems to be a theme with him and his women, but they're all like that.
Yeah. Yeah,
What's their deal?
I don't get it, but I just remember really once I went through COVID and Eliza Blue and a couple other things that happened on my channel, I feel like I have just been like an F-16 when it comes to discernment. Like
Mhm.
I literally have it's automatic and then I see it and I'm like, okay. But with her, just everything she does is nasty. Like
Yeah, it's nasty is the word, isn't it?
she's
It's
just
dark.
yes, yes. Well, and it's so funny because I have worked to purify myself, and I know that's the opposite of what most people are working to do. That's we live in a very hedonistic world, and so I'm kind of like this weird anomaly. But I'm not judging the people that aren't. I'm just enjoying my journey of wholesome and purity, and I love it. I absolutely have never liked myself more. And it's been so fascinating to me because it seems as I enjoy it more, everything that is not pure really stands out. And so I'm
Yeah.
seeing things that I wouldn't have seen before because, I don't know if you're very familiar with, the laws of the universe, but the law of correspondence is my favorite one. And a lot of people really love law of attraction, but the law of correspondence, I call it the Sherlock Holmes law. And what happens is everything exposes itself, because what's in the heart comes out of the mouth. And if you really listen to people, what's in their heart will show. And so when I was watching the Grimes interviews, I was just like, this little girl's crazy.
Well, this is why they say the long form interview is pretty good, because there's the saying of like, if you spend like 2 hours with anyone, eventually, even if they're trying, even
There's a
if they're
glitch.
supremely talented at concealing their real true nature, there will be a glitch, and they can't escape it. There's just, you cannot sustain the mask for that amount of time. And so this is, I think, why a lot of authenticity bleeds through in the Joe Rogan format. And that's why it took off, because like we've been starving for something
real dialogue.
Yeah.
Real dialogue.
And there was
That's
a
so
window where it
true.
was happening there en masse. Like YouTube did facilitate that really well for a long
Yeah.
time. I remember there was a brilliant golden age.
I
Like,
think
I
it's the
remember
greatest university ever, because it doesn't matter what it is that you want to learn. There's somebody on there that's showing you how to do it.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
It's just
But
why I get so upset about the fact that they really are stifling and killing all of the magic that made these things great. The only reason this exists is because the other realm of terrestrial broadcast got so stale, and it was gated, and it was phony, and you know what I mean? Like, it's, anyone can just do this, and we got on there and we were honest, and there was no rules.
right.
Now it's full of rules, and now there is a gate, and now it's hard to get in, and now you can't. It's becoming what was shit about what we escaped,
That's so true. But going back to the law of correspondence, it has changed my life. And when I'm working with a client, it's made it so easy, because a lot of times when people come to, work with me, they just want to fix something. And usually what they want to fix is harder for them to see than it is for me to see, because I'm not them, right? I have a completely different perspective, and their blind spots are visible to me. And so what really makes me laugh, though, is how accurate it is, because I can tell really quickly what kind of signature moves somebody's making, because there's a lot of basic ones that happen over and over again. It's a pattern recognition thing. And so these girls will come and they'll be like, but I had no idea. He was so wonderful. He was the most amazing guy for months and months. And every time I'm like, no, in the first time you went out, the second time you went out, or the third time you went out, you were able to see, but you ignored it. No. I didn't see anything. He was a perfect gentleman. We're working for a couple of times. Third or fourth time we're working together, they happen to mention something. Well, yeah, because I remember he didn't like me wearing heels, because the very first time we went out, and there's me going, I told you. You knew in the very first date, he showed you through the law of correspondence. And how I know that is because it's a natural law. It's always operating. The whole world is always telling you about itself. And so the better we get at recognizing these things, the less we'll have to deal with people who are gaslighting us.
Well, that's why and I think I'm muddled in that, my sort of sensor there, because like there's a lot of, I don't know if it's being like online too much. It's probably a heavy element to it, like just having too much exposure to the internet. I don't know. I do feel and this bitter disappointment in just being told that, oh, you're gonna get breakthrough. Donald Trump's gonna come and save the day, and like, of course, that's silly looking back.
He's gonna
Like,
clean the swamp. The swamp's
back.
gonna be cleaned.
Yeah, and it's like, no, he's protecting pedophiles. That's exactly what. Of course, that was gonna happen. Why? I mean, stupid. Why did I think that wasn't gonna happen? Why did I?
Well, you definitely didn't look at my tweets, because I gave a whole list of reasons why I didn't believe Trump. But I mean,
maybe I did, and maybe I willfully ignored it.
Maybe something will happen, and I will be really glad that I'm wrong.
Maybe I saw your stuff and willfully ignored it, like in the example of the lady with the high heels, like
That's
I
funny.
did see that and just thought maybe she's wrong, or I don't know. I'm not consciously remembering that, but
Yeah, of
like,
course. Of course. Well, it is, I believe it's the very thing that everyone needs to learn. Because
yeah,
if everyone had the ability to read people very well, then they would recognize these things so fast. Because it's like they have this willful inability to look at the past. Because if you could look at the past, you would never believe anything that Elon said.
yeah. As I don't,
I mean,
but I think
he was gonna do
yeah,
Hyperloop, didn't
mm,
happen. He was gonna
mhm.
do the Solar City, didn't happen. I'm gonna have the greatest truck in the world, and, he shoots it and it creates a crack. Or people drive it out in the desert and the bumper falls off because it's glued together, like, it's it's like the craziest stuff. And and
Yeah,
and so, yeah, just to look at the history will really give you a lot. And that's why you look at Elon's dad and you go, How could he
Errol,
turn out
yeah.
any different than he is?"
Well, Errol he was quite they are the same person, aren't they?
Oh, I
Are
think
they?
his dad is far worse, but
Really?
in a
I don't
way
know much
that
about Errol, but
that I do think Elon is smart. He doesn't apply it because I believe he's incapable of applying it in the way that would be healthy because of what he grew up with.
right.
Yeah.
Because Kimball Musk, the younger brother, he was very heavily involved with Epstein.
Mhm.
And so there's just darkness spread around that whole family.
Yeah. Yeah. I remember seeing a lady that claimed to be his nanny that had some crazy stories about him and said
Who's
that his
nanny?
mother used to go visit Charles Manson in jail.
Oh, so Elon's nanny,
Mhm.
and so May would go and visit.
Charles Manson, like they were friends or something. Who knows? I don't know if that's true or not, but
Wow.
that's wild. And it wouldn't surprise me. I mean,
No, because she gives me she's weird. She's the same kind of weird as Eliza Blue is weird. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. But Errol, it's so sad because like what he did is very Woody Allen. Like he
Yeah.
really messed up I guess it was his second wife's children. Oh my gosh.
Sorry, everyone in the chat. There's so many comments here. I'm sorry, Daniel, and then Yeti's here as well now. I've been like just sort of zoned in on the conversation. Everyone thinks the pendulum swing is being left and right. It's not. It's between authority. Yeah, yeah. It's top and yeah, up and down. The thing is, everyone is so thoroughly convinced that it is left and right, and I love my Discord because I have been like reintroduced to the normal left again. Like there's a lot of old school lefties, like when I say old school, like maybe like 40 or 50, even my age, like that. I were never Republican or conservative or anything, but like also never just like crazy, weird, extreme left or anything. They're just normal people, how people used to be before everything was super hyper partisan, and just like haven't been able to talk about just stuff reasonably with them and actually have considered back and forth with them. It's like you would not believe this was possible if you just transplanted it and put it on Twitter. They'd say, "Oh, that was made up" or something, you know.
Yeah.
Um,
But that's
but yeah,
that's one of those things that I think comes from a place of people who haven't been able to look at truth, and they're so afraid of truth that it kind of annihilates their ego. And I think that's what causes them to be so like, because anyone could say any theory to me and it wouldn't piss me off. You could tell me any theory and I would listen to it and go, yeah, I just don't agree with that part. I could see
right.
where you see that. But they go absolutely crazy, batshit nuts, screaming, spitting, like into the camera. It's wild.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, the range of human behavior that I didn't even know that was possible even a year ago is kind of astonishing. Daniel Rue says, I would like to defend him a little bit on the California point. Yeah, sure. Okay. Well, I'm sure we can find some. Everyone
but
has
even
redeemable
that.
things.
Okay, so think about that. If I'm in a boardroom and Elon's coming to pitch me, and he's giving me the Hyperloop in California pitch, I'm already out. Why? Because I already know California is as dirty as it gets. I mean, how do I know that? Just look at the homelessness problem.
Didn't they try and do it in Nevada as well? Or is that no?
That was the Boring Company.
You're right. You're right. It was the Boring Company.
And I don't even know what happened to that. I haven't heard anything about it.
Well, they were supposed to tunnel under the city to save traffic, and they ended up just crossing the road, which you can actually do quicker in the bus. That already was there. And the bus got you closer to the actual desired destination.
Where you needed to go.
Yeah. So this is just typical fashion of like Elon's total.
Well, I mean, all these we should do a show just on the billionaires, you know?
Yeah.
Because all of them are
Peter Thiel would be a good one because
crazy. You know, well, like right now he's really relevant, but even like Jeff Bezos having that underground forever clock in Texas drives me crazy. Like,
what's that?
Do you not know about this? Oh my gosh. He has some highly engineered clock that's supposed to go forever, that's in a huge underground facility that's highly protected in Texas desert.
What is it supposed to be, an upgrade to the atomic clock?
No. It's supposed to be something that after the whole world ends, that people will have this clock that will tell them what time it is. I don't know. But can you pull it up? Can you pull it up?
I'm gonna find. Okay.
I think it's called the Forever Clock, but I think if you add Bezos and Forever Clock Texas, it should pull it up.
Because it sounds very like what, you know, when man tries to become God, they want to, because they try to become transcendent. They try to beat time. It's the immortality quest, I guess.
But I think that's why that whole group of people is so into transhumanism.
Yes.
I think real humans, I think we really do appreciate each other and a baby being born and the preciousness of its innocence and then the incredible wisdom of an elder. And I mean, I really believe that good human people get that.
I think I've just pressed the wrong button. Hold on, I've got to do this again.
No
I get so, because StreamYard changed a few
Here,
things.
let me see if I can figure it out, because I might be giving you the wrong name. But anyway, back to the billionaire things. Like, I could, like, literally, it's so crazy when you think about how crazy they become. And I remember, so I used to work in the car business. I loved hyper luxury cars, and I sold McLaren, Bentley, Rolls-Royce, etc. for a while. And one of the things that I remember
noticing, there's a lot of them around here.
Yeah. One of the things I remember noticing about really wealthy people as you got to know them as clients is that the difference between a poor person and a rich person, that, you know, is that the poor person's personality doesn't become amplified by money, but the rich person's person becomes absolutely amplified by money. Like, they become so much more of what they are because they have the access to more places. And it's not good. They literally become crazy.
Yeah, it seems like it should, like, it's almost like it's unnatural to ever ascend to those heights. It's for a reason. Like, it's almost like the universe is saying, well, actually, no, things get fucking weird at that point. Like, kind of like Hitler really liked washing his hands, and then he like really, really liked cleaning stuff, and then he really liked cleaning people away. You know? So
right, like that.
just kind of like this rapid, but it really kind of was like that. It
Right,
really, you just remove all the barriers,
right.
and that's just where it just goes.
Yes.
And you can make commentary on what really happened in World War II. I'm not trying to go there, chat, but like we can have that another day. But like that is essentially the idea and what happened. And he's not the only character. He's one of the most famous in history. But like it's the same with all of these despotic types. It's just they kept removing these barriers one after the other, and we think, well, we're so different from that Pol Pot or whatever, Mao Zedong or whoever. Insert your mass genocider here.
Yeah.
We think we're so different from them, but like it just, I don't know. I don't even know where
Well,
I don't even know if
and
I
I
want
kind
to
of
go
feel
there,
where you're
like,
going with that, but I do believe you're correct, and I think that that's the beauty of somebody that is introspective. The fact that you do question your thoughts, the fact that you do wonder about certain things, it shows that you're healthy.
yeah. I
And
mean,
that
it's
you
but it's
care, that you
scary.
care. Yeah, and it
Well,
is.
I guess, yeah, it's scary. That's why, I guess, because I do. I guess maybe sometimes you think, am I not a good person? Like that is a fear.
Well,
But
yeah,
then I
that's
guess the
true.
fear is, I guess, maybe the element of
But I mean, a bad person would never think that.
maybe not.
I mean,
Yeah, I
I
guess.
know they wouldn't. They think they're
Yeah.
wonderful. So the key facts of this 10,000-year clock. It's
Yeah.
designed to tick only once a year, chime every century, display a cuckoo once every millennium. The clock stands 500 feet tall and is housed deep within a mountain on Bezos' property. Invented by Danny Hillis in 1989 to inspire long-term thinking and responsibility for the future. Powered mechanically using the Earth's thermal cycles, leveraging temperature variation between day and night to operate without direct human intervention. The clock features a unique melody generator by Brian Eno, producing over 3.5 million distinctive bell sequences so that each day will sound different for visitors over the next 10,000 years. Although you can't go see it, like I can't go see it.
So then why, like,
I
why,
can't
who
go
is it
knock, knock,
for?
knock. Can I hear one of those 3 million bell
Who,
chimes?
who is this
Um,
for? I was just loading and I hit
There are
leave.
there are 5 room-size anniversary chambers inside the mountain intended to hold artifacts. It literally sounds like a sacrificial place or like a Stargate or something, kinda like CERN to
Well,
me.
there was a picture of it here. It's taking forever to load. I think it's because I've upgraded my VPN. I had to because of all these internet laws to
Right.
escape the age gating.
Yeah. Good for you.
Literally,
Yeah, I
yeah.
believe you.
But it's doing some funny things with some. But like there was a image. Essentially, I think this is
Oh,
a
I hope
model
it
of it
comes up
here.
because it's fascinating looking. And it would hold artifacts and messages for each of the clock's milestone, the first, the 10th, the 100th, the 1000, and the 10,000 years. So each one of those is a room where they can celebrate, I guess. The project aims to be a symbol of long-term thinking, reminding humanity to consider future generations. Yeah, I wish they would. Reaching the clock requires a challenging trek, emphasizes its remoteness and the scope of the journey for those who visit. The clock's construction required advanced engineering, including diamond cutting robots and multi-year mountain excavation.
And like, I mean, that's some ego, right? Because you're not
Well,
even letting people
that's what
look
the
at it.
next thing said. Some critics argue that the project is pure vanity and
Well, I
question
mean,
if resources could be better spent on issues like climate change.
so like here's a top-down thing of the
Oh,
pendulum.
wow. That looks like the Fibonacci sequence.
Yes, and I would guarantee you there's sacred geometry has gone into the design very intentionally
Yes.
because
What is
you look at
it? Is that copper in the center? Because
it,
it looks like it's been patinaed.
it
That
It's
would look
probably
like
just some kind of
the brown part that almost looked like
yeah, I know what you mean, but I'm not
that
you mean
that
this
very
cat
center
bit.
part. That looks like copper.
There's no other pictures here. I can't,
Yeah, they're not very generous with their clock, are they?
well, with all this resources and money, it's like, can I at least fucking look at it? Like, can I go and compare my little iPhone to it? That'd
Yeah.
be handy, maybe. Still rather like, maybe a nice garden or something.
You know, we can sit and bitch about it, but all my friends use Amazon, and
I
people that
bought this off there, like, 2 days ago just for, like, a joke.
See? You contributed.
I did, I bought this clock. It's my clock!
I love it. That's so cute. But yeah, it is kind of funny, and we really never finished talking. I think there was something you wanted to talk about with about Rob Ager.
Oh, 1,000 things. I don't know.
Oh,
I
okay.
really just wanted to, like, talk about him because I think he's really
Real
talented, and
really cool guy.
yeah, I just wanted to congratulate you on that episode. Was so please, guys, it is linked below, that specific episode, on Carmen's channel. If
Yeah.
you wait at all, even if you're not interested in film or hypnosis, you will be after just 2 seconds of this. Like, it's just, he has that way of just, it's very much his ability to orate, like he's got that, but like he really is just very smart. Like,
Yes.
he's talented and smart, and it's a very nicely paired set of skills to have, especially if, like, I don't really care so much about films, but like I had to go on, like, there were several Kubrick films that I'd never even seen before that I was like, oh, well, I have to go and watch them now
Yeah.
because
Well, and it's funny too because my daughter is into Lynchian um photographs. And I was like, "What the heck is Lynchian?" And she's like, "Oh, he's
yeah.
a famous director, blah blah blah." And that's some of the people that he mentions. And I had never heard of it until my daughter brought it up. And then now I'm like, "Oh my gosh, it's everywhere." But yeah, his channel is incredible and he's a good person. I was shocked he said yes. I first found his smaller channel, so I thought he had um I think it's like 98,000. And I guess I just kind of look at it and I go, well, somebody in the hundreds might come on my channel. If I would have seen that he had 350, I might not have asked him. And it just shows you really should throw yourself out there because he was like, yeah, his response was so great. He looks at it and I have everything's live, but I had one that got a strike. So I had to put it up as a recorded one. So it's on video. So it looks like I have one video if you just go to my channel. And he
Yeah.
goes, well, do you have anything other than the one?
Yeah,
I thought was really cool. I was like, how cool is it that he's unafraid to ask me that question? Like, hey, is this your only?
Yeah, he's so not pretentious at all. And that's what, like, I'm not surprised that he said yes.
Yeah.
Um,
But he's one of those cases where he has those kind of subs. Like he's at 350 with the 2 channels and even more because he's got 2 other channels, but he doesn't really use them. But the fact that he has built those since 2007.
which
And
is when
so
YouTube began.
he's worked that.
Yeah.
And so that wasn't just boosted, because he's great, because he's part of the grift or, he's CIA or something. You know what I mean? Like it's a true channel. And I really like him.
Yeah, me too. And like to say that he was the first film critic on YouTube is like there wasn't a YouTube before he was doing it. So like it is true in every sense of like that is
Right. He
actually
said there was one
true.
other guy that was doing it, but like you said, I've looked because I've enjoyed his so much that I'm like, I want to see if there's other people out there that have it. But I'll tell you another one that I really like is a brand new channel by a guy that does Understanding Conspiracy. And he's got like 100,000 on that, maybe a little more. And so he started this new one because he really loves art. and he likes highlighting artists, and he doesn't care if they're famous or not. He just loves artists, and it's such a cool channel. But he has this woman that has come on that has blown my mind. I think you would really like it. She goes back. The first one she did was Picasso. And she goes back and basically kind of proves that they're all involved in some sort of like money laundering or some sort of intelligence or whatever, because she starts like weaving all of the things together. Absolutely unbelievable. And I forget, I think she's going to do like 12 different artists with him. And she's already done like Georgia O'Keeffe.
What was the name again? Sorry.
All right. So it's called Understanding Creativity. And he
I
just,
might have seen this.
yeah, he
I
just
it rings
started
a
it.
bell.
He literally just started it like maybe 2 months ago, 3
Oh,
months
maybe
ago.
not then.
And then
I don't
he
know.
already has 4,000 plus. Like, so people are
Okay.
enjoying it.
I feel like excuse me. Still, it's not a bad cough anymore. It's just an itchy one now.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen the name before, but I might be like confusing
Well,
with
his
Collative
main
Learning,
channel,
which is Rob's one.
well, you might have seen his main channel, which is Understanding Conspiracy. And that
No,
one,
I feel like that understanding creativity
oh, okay.
specifically, that's what's ringing a bell.
Okay.
Um,
Well, you never
I could
know.
be wrong though.
It's
I could be
really,
wrong.
really good. And I like his Understanding Conspiracy. He wrote a book called, and I did a show with him about his book. And it's called something the Nephilim Clowns. Oh, what is the name of his book? This is so embarrassing. I'm going to Google it really quick.
No, it doesn't matter. Daniel says he's unhypnotizable anyway. We were talking about that just before. Like, I kind of consider
I think
myself
people don't realize how easily humans are. And they've even proved there's a thing called flicker rate, where if a light goes at a certain flicker rate, it mesmerizes you.
That's what these are doing all the time.
Yes.
All the time. And it's, I mean, it's happening right as I speak. It looks like a solid state image. It's so absolutely is not. You know, it's like it puts this brain in this crazy entrainment state where it really, it's just another one of these masks for.
It's called The Nephilim Look Like Clowns. Oh my gosh. It is so fascinating to listen to him talk about clowns and the history of clowns and how the Nephilim had like super white skin. And because they were cannibals, that's why they had the red on the nose and the red on the lips.
Is that why they're so scary?
Yeah, and that is literally why people have an innate fear of them. And here's what the book looks like.
Okay, the Nephilim. I'll bring it up properly on this. The Nephilim
looks like clowns. And he's doing a second book. Yes, he has been on Tinfoil Hat. And he was mentioned on Joe Rogan too, because of the little season.
When you hear the word clown, what is the first thing that comes to mind? It probably isn't giant, bloodthirsty predators who ruled over humanity after usurping all the earthly kingdoms in an antediluvian age. Likewise, when one imagines Nephilim, it would be absurd to conjure up a scene of white-faced circus performers honking their horns and making fools of themselves in colorful costumes. The half-divine, half-mortal offspring of what this is probably a bit too long for me to, but look, I'm already hooked in.
No, I'm telling you, his channel is amazing, and I could never imagine how fascinating, because I'm not a big Georgia O'Keeffe fan at all. I was riveted. I could not stop watching this lady talk about this woman and how she crossed over with, the guy from NASA and how she had access to certain army places and why was she, it was crazy cool.
I've got my buddy, man, that's funny again. Maybe they were never, clowns are anti-comedy. They suck. This is analysis from Ricky Gervais, who I think is very apt. on this particular topic. They are anti-comedy. They suck joy out of a room. They are, yeah, there's something innate about them that was never funny. Even if you're not scared of them, they're just not, they don't inspire joy in any way. You think it's very kind of counterintuitive because there's a lot of bright colors and goofiness going on.
Right.
But it's like, no,
I
it's
never
not
liked them. I know some people do, but I love what your friend said. He said clowns aren't scary. They're mostly just irritating, except rodeo clowns. They're legit awesome. I cannot believe what those guys do. I mean, I'm in Texas, so rodeos are all the time. And so those guys blow me away. I don't know how they do it.
Jar? Jar's a new friend from Rumble. We've got like, I can't see some of the characters on StreamYard. They don't come through though, the little
salute.
But we've got all of my buddies here popping up in the chat. I'm sorry that I've been sort of like just sort of buried in the conversation. I am gonna have to wrap it soon because I'm starving.
Yeah, and I have to go anyway. It's my sister's anniversary, and I told her I would stop by.
Okay, yeah. Well, look, I really appreciate you spending this time because
I just love you. I think you're a wonderful human, and you can keep on cussing, and I'll still love you.
Thanks, Carmen. I love you too, and I appreciate you very much. And I feel like, you know, when I didn't want to like make this sound too pious or anything, but I feel like I've cleansed my sins somewhat by having this conversation just with you. Like, it feels nice.
Yeah,
it feels nice. You've got that good energy about you. So like, I'm not trying to, you know, say anything sacrilegious or anything there.
That's awesome. Yeah. While everyone else is working on hedonism, I'm over here trying to be more pure. But I've had plenty of good sensual experiences, so it's time for me to behave.
Yeah.
Have a good evening.
Thank you for having me.
Bye, everybody.
Thanks for coming, and we'll talk to you again soon, guys. Ending stream.